Well, once again, it's time, my friends, for another meet and greet. We're Southern Fried and nationwide, so hang on to your seat. Look around, here's what I found. I guess you'll never know what you'll see on the Southern Fried Podcast Show. Yeehaw!
Yeehaw! Hi there to all of our Southern Fried Podcast fans and all of our folks out there in Cornbread Nation. You know, we love them breadheads out there. Oh, we got a whole hootenanny going on here tonight. On Mama Said, we got Rob Diamond, or AKA Dog Tag, gonna be hiking the Appalachian Trail. We got Miss Elizabeth in transit again this week. She's gonna be talking to us while she's driving. We know that's safe. But so y'all do as we say, not as we do. Do not get on your phone while you're driving.
Yeah.
How's Dave doing tonight?
I'm okay. I'm all right. Made it through a Monday. I'm good.
Well, did Mr. Dog Tag, did you have a good and wonderful Monday yourself?
Just been busy. When you know, in the Army we used to say you're a short timer when you're close to the end, but I'm a short timer in the fact that I'm about ready to step off. So trying to get a lot of the honeydews done before I have to leave, and been promising the wife that I'd take down the Christmas tree. She took all the decorations off. I had to be the one to take the tree down. So I need to make sure I got that done before I left. So yeah, just a lot of different honeydew items.
Yeah.
And then one of the other things that I was doing today, I had to do a very special dog tag today.
So I appreciate that a lot. That means a lot to me.
So that'll get added to the chain.
Absolutely. And Miss Elizabeth, you driving around, did you have a good Monday?
I had a fantastic Monday.
A fantastic Monday. You know,
I did.
I think you kind of scared Steve when you told him he might go to hell.
No, I will not today.
Okay.
Hopefully Steve will pop in today.
Are you going to tell him you're sorry for telling him he might go to hell for buying store-bought cornbread?
No. Come on.
He's stuck with that.
He is.
He's got to repent.
That is a cardinal sin.
I don't even know if there is such a thing as store-bought cornbread, but if there is, they probably have it in northern Ohio.
Oh, they do have it.
They got it at Sam's Club too. You can go and buy a big old flat of cornbread there.
Oh yeah.
That don't even sound right. Oh, that might hurt my heart. Well, Miss Elizabeth, you feel free to jump in.
Anywhere you go.
Do what?
I said, you look in the daily sections of any of the grocery stores you go in, and I guarantee you'll start seeing cornbread.
That's just wrong.
It don't look like cornbread we cook, but it'll be labeled as cornbread.
Well, if it don't look like cornbread, then how do you know it's really cornbread?
It ain't.
It ain't.
All right. Well, Miss Elizabeth, feel free to jump in. Anybody that's out there, feel free to jump in the chat. We got something special because, Dog Tag here, Rob Diamond, he's going to be setting out on the Appalachian Trail this weekend, doing to raise awareness for veteran and first responder suicide. You feel free to sponsor him. He's asking for a penny a mile. That's 2,200 miles. So that's a penny per mile. So y'all, is that the one?
That's
Yes.
the one.
That is the one. Yes, sir.
Let me take this ticker down. If y'all want to scan that QR code right there, take you right where you need to go. And he's going to be, you can follow his journey on YouTube. Plus, he's going to be checking in here with us and letting us know how it's going. We're going to follow his journey. I'm gonna go with him vicariously.
And I'd love to have y'all.
So y'all hit that QR code there if you're able to sponsor him. We're going to put it up a few more times during the night here. So let's see. We'll put that back up. Now I got to go down here and find the other thing, and we'll do like that. There we go. There. But tonight we got something special. We want to give you a gift to take with you. We're going to give you the gift of music. Explain it all out to him, Dave.
Well, the trail is long. I mean, 2,200 miles. There's going to be, it's like a runner or any athlete. You're going to hit walls along the way. I mean, there's going to be days you got to push through pulled muscles, aches, pains, spasms, you name it. I mean, I can't even imagine that kind of mileage. So you need something to help you along. So I've got some songs. We've asked people to come up with songs for the trail that'll help you get down the road. So there's different kinds of songs. There's songs that are happy. There's songs that are aggressive. There's songs that have deep meanings, and all in between. They're all across all genres of music. And so we're going to help you out tonight with what needs to be in Dog Tag's playlist for the Appalachian Trail. Feel free to jump in the chat and let us know some. We had a couple come in this morning. I wish I could remember. What was the one that Steve said? Steve had a couple before he went on to work, and I had to.
Walk by,
Pantera. Now, that's an aggressive song.
That's a very aggressive song.
Walk by Pantera. That's a workout song. A lot of people I know that work out, that's what they listen to because it's real aggressive, and they're pushing through that last bench press or whatever it is. So that would be on those tough days you're hiking up, mountains or hills or whatever, and your legs feel like jello. That's a good one for that. Even if you don't like that kind of music, it will make you aggressive. It will make you. Actually, and that was one of mine, so good, we're thinking the same way. Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin is a good, slow-building song that will, it's a thinking song, but it's a rocker, and it will help you along the journey as you go. So thank you there, Knots. That's also rude. So these will help you, Robert. So
they'll do it. They're going to help you a lot.
Let me give you my first one. I'm going to jump out there with a one that you wouldn't normally think that I would have, but I actually saw this. By the way, they're actually lists for the trail. I most of mine are just things that come out of my head, but I did see a list of songs for the trail. This came off the list. I'm going to give full credit that this came off of Google That Stuff, and somebody had a list, and on this list was the song Push It by Salt and Pepper. So that was on somebody's official Appalachian Trail guide for music was Push It.
Now y'all look. There's time and a place to play every song. And after the conversation we had last Friday, there's a particular campground that you should not play that song at.
I'm just saying, Rob, somebody needed that inspiration to get up the trail or down the trail or whatever the case may be. I'm just curious, has Dog Tag ever heard that song, Salt and Pepper's Push It? That's what I want to know.
I have not, and I'm writing it down just so that I can, after we get done, I'm going to have to, and you say it's by Salt and Pepper, huh?
Salt and Pepper. Pepper.
I
can sing some of it for you if you want.
Miss Elizabeth says it's a good song.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I'm already
my
over here
first song.
humming it in my head.
You're humming it. It's stuck in your head now, right? Don't worry. I'm fixing to get that out of your head.
Okay.
All right, you ready? Now I know you've seen the Muppets.
Of
They're
course.
okay.
My
All right.
wife says I'm the old man that's up in the banister. The way I dance,
That's
she
who me
says
and
I
Dave
dare.
are. You can't be him. That's who me and Dave are. You got to be Fozzie Bear. You remember the whole thing like do 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 phenomena do 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 do
Yeah.
do 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 phenomena. Okay, that's gonna be stuck in your head now. When you're out there going, you just go phenomena do 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 phenomena do 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 do. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other. Do 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 do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, Miss Elizabeth, if you could tell us a song with that one stuck in your head.
Look, I already do that one to my granddaughters. Okay, so I feel like if I was on that trail, the one I would be singing over and over and over is Jesus Loves Me. Because I would want to remind myself that he is always with me and loving me on that trail. Because
Amen.
I would be like, oh,
Yeah.
heavens, Lord, why have you forsaken me on this trail?
Hey there, Jake. Just as a reminder, we're going to help Mr. Rob Diamond, aka Dog Tag, here with some songs to help him while he's hiking the AT tonight. So y'all come on in with song suggestions, stuff that he can sing to keep his spirits up and keep him motivated. So,
All right. My next one is because you're going to hit bad weather. It's going to happen. And so the song that popped in my head today when I thought about, well, actually I have a couple, but my first one is going to be Kentucky Rain by Elvis Presley. What a great song.
Yeah. There
And
you go.
I'm sure you've heard that one. And, just as you're walking through the rain coming down, just think of that song. I think it'll help you, give you a little inspiration from the King there to get on through another mile or two down the trail.
Exactly.
well, I can stay in theme there with you if you like. Well,
Go
it's
ahead.
raining. You pop your umbrella up or whatever. You be up there, just be singing in the rain, just singing in the rain.
Yeah.
No
Look,
doubt.
that's one of my favorite songs.
Well, you
I
hang out
love
in the
that
thunderstorm
song.
all the time, don't you?
And I got to interrupt you here, Rob, and kind of share. As part of my prepping for this trip, part of the thing they tell you, you got to put your rain gear on and everything. And I was down in North Carolina, and I was talking to a guy that had thru hiked before, and I said, when you put your rain gear on, especially in the summertime, you're so hot and sweaty. Why even put your rain gear on? And he says, well, Rob, when I put my rain gear on, everything else comes off. And he says, I pack my dry clothes into my pack, and then I just wear my rain gear. And my rain gear consists of a jacket. And I told you the other night, the lower part is my kilt, a rain kilt. So if I take everything off, that's just a sight to be seen, So I'll be definitely singing in the rain.
There you go.
But they say
Not
that's
the
the best
rain.
way to keep your clothes dry, So it is when it starts to rain, you just drop everything and put your rain gear on, and then if you're going to sweat underneath, at least your clothes don't get all wet.
Yeah,
Not
that sounds
not to
like
be
a
off
wonderful
color
idea.
here, but did Dog Tag say singing in the rain or swinging in the rain? I kind of.
I might have inadvertently,
Oh, that's another song.
said swinging in the rain. I don't know. Did I say that?
I'm
Now,
not
not to
sure.
bring, hey, not to bring, stayed on topic. Thunder rolls.
There you go.
That's a
That's
good
what
one.
you
That's a
have.
good one.
That's what you have for supper at night over the campfire. Thunder rolls.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay, so
All right, Rob, what's your next one? or Elizabeth?
I don't think you can go wrong with anything by Journey or by Bon Jovi.
I have a Bon Jovi song, so we'll come back to that one.
Okay.
Let's think of a Journey song that would help him down the road. Let's see. They had a lot of hits, but she says any of them, anything by the rock band Journey, Steve Perry edition. I'm sure singing.
Yeah, anything Steve Perry sings is excellent.
I'll have to think. Well, they have so many hits from that. They have some fast. They have the slower ones.
Okay.
They have some rockers.
I have the perfect one.
Okay.
Who's crying now?
Well, that would work because there's going to be some tough emotional moments out there.
What'd you say, Rob?
Who's crying now?
Yeah.
Did you hear that? I don't think she's here. That's good.
Rob, what'd you say?
Who's crying now?
There you go. That's
Yeah,
a good
That
one.
works.
That might be my first week. I need that one in the first week, So,
And I will throw the Bon Jovi real quick since it was mentioned. Living on a Prayer.
There you go.
that one, yeah.
You're gonna be praying out there, so you're living on a prayer. That's a good song, "Living on a Prayer" by Bon Jovi. I think that works for the AT.
Yes.
Definitely.
Well, I got one for you, but it's just because I'm an ornery ass and I'm mean sometimes. The Barney song.
Ah,
I love you. You love me.
I just had this image that popped in my head. He's singing that song in the rain, and he has chosen that time to go all naked so he can say he got his 100 yards in, and some dude walks around the corner.
And he's going through there dancing and singing the Barney song. We're a happy family with a great big hug. Just from me to you.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, and not your friend, that would also be a good one. Blaze of Glory.
Has a cowboy theme, and you're sitting around the campfire. That fits. That's a great one. Blaze of Glory.
Yes.
I concur. That is a good one.
Yes.
A great one, actually. Okay.
All right, Miss Elizabeth, you got another one?
Let's see. Yes, I'm trying to remember the name of it. It is by, it's a country song. And it is by, oh my gosh. It's a married couple and they sing it together. And it's an old couple. It is,
The Carpenters?
The who?
The Carpenters.
No. Country.
Donnie and Marie Osmond. Oh, wait, they were brothers too. Donnie and Marie Osmond could have been a married couple from Alabama.
You better watch out, Rob. You're going to be damned to hell in a minute.
I know, right?
He is. Skip me and come back to me.
All right. All right. There's going to be times you're going to wonder, what in the heck was I thinking when I started doing this? And the song that came to my mind was Highway to Hell by AC/DC.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
I'm on a highway.
Exactly. That one I think will get played several times.
Well, everybody likes AC/DC. So while you're walking around in your raincoat, your rain kilt, and everything's kind of swinging back and forth and
Yeah.
everything, that'd be a good time for Hell's Bells.
Hey, Kim's Coffee Talk. Thanks for being in here.
Yes.
Appreciate you. I know you go into Killer Carl's streams. We appreciate you coming over for a minute. We're talking about songs for the Appalachian Trail. Dog Tag here is going to be doing them all 2,200 miles. We got to help him out with some songs to get him down the trail. So
And
we've
while
had
we're
some good ones.
let's take a short break here. Let's go ahead and put it back up there. If y'all want to sponsor him, he's doing it to raise awareness for veteran and first responder suicide. He's asking for a penny a mile, and it's for a good cause. And it's 2,200 miles, so you're looking at about it's $22. And the QR code is there at the bottom right corner of the screen. It'll take you right where you need to go. So it's not for him.
And Rob, you want to mention though that money is not to pay for my expenses. That's to go to. We're going to split that up amongst 4 nonprofit groups when we finish. I mean, I'm funding the trip out of my own pocket, and but the donations that I'm asking people to give are to. We're gonna try, and we have 4 different organizations that we want to pick. One of them is our Vets Helping Vets program within our own American Legion post. And then we're going to find a veteran organization, a fire organization, and a law enforcement organization. They're all nonprofits that help veterans overcome their demons. So
there you go. So that's amazing. So as y'all come up with them in the chat tonight, as you come up with songs to help keep him motivated and keep it going, y'all throw them up, and we'll put them up here too. And we're just going around in circles. We've got plenty of songs apparently.
Oh man, there's so many titles.
Yeah.
Who's
Now,
next? Who's next? By the way, in Instagram, I love this name. Josie Wells 1776. That's a killer screen name. I love that name.
Yes.
You know, we like the outlaw Josie Wells.
Yes.
That's a great screen name on Instagram. I love that. Go ahead, Miss Elizabeth.
Okay. Johnny Cash and June Carter Cash. And the name I believe is going to Jackson.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's an upbeat one.
Oh yeah.
I remember, yeah, bud.
Oh,
that's a
do what?
That's a real good one, and we've had one just pop in here on the chat that was real good too.
Yes.
Walk of 5.
Okay.
Knights of Ren has popped in. I would walk 500 miles.
Who sings that? I can't think of the name of the artist.
Is it Bare Naked Lady?
Oh, I can't remember. I can hear the song in my head, but I can't think who sings it.
Yeah, that's kind of like almost like a military beat to it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does. It does have that. That's true.
I got you another one.
What's that?
These shoes are made for walking.
Oh yes, yeah, exactly.
I thought it was boots.
Are these
Boots, not shoes.
These
boots are made for walking. All right, Dave.
All right. Well, as you're going down the trail, you run into various people, and sometimes you don't know what who you're going to meet. And so they're, I thought this one fit because sometimes if you're walking and you see them from behind, you might not know. And so I put down Aerosmith, Dude Looks Like a Lady. I thought that might give you some comic relief as you're going down the trail.
And that'll probably be maybe a little bit later in the trip after people haven't been grooming very much, and
that could actually lead into this song here that Kim's Coffee Talk just put up there, Ring of Fire.
Yeah, when she mentioned Johnny Cash, that's what I was thinking of. So,
and the Proclaimers is the name of that band. Thank you. I couldn't think of it. These are good. This is a lot of help to Dog Tag. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
And while you're out there on the trail, you never know what you're going to run into. You may have stuff you have to go around and be very careful. And at that point in time, you probably just need to walk like an Egyptian.
Isn't
That would
that
be a good.
Steve Martin gig? Didn't he do that one?
well. Sorry. To walk like an Egyptian.
That would be good, but nobody has the eyes like Susanna Hoffs has in that video or any of
No.
those videos. Just saying, just saying.
Okay, I'll go along with that. Oh, all right, Miss Elizabeth, what you got there?
I don't know. I gotta think a minute.
Okay, we'll come back to you.
You didn't give me a heads up, Rob. That makes me
I
mad.
didn't. I
could
didn't.
have had a whole good list
I didn't.
going.
Oh my gosh,
No.
you got to think on the fly. Women are smarter than men. You should have this. You got this. You got this.
Payback, baby, payback.
That's all right.
Just remember that.
That's okay.
Payback.
I know. Going to hell. There's a ladybug
No.
stuck in my keyboard.
You just
I was talking to some old friends of mine, and they told me I should make sure I carry my old scout songbook that I used to take out on all my camping trips. And the one that I keep thinking of is my pink pajamas. Have you ever heard it, Rob?
Yeah,
No,
Rob, we want to
no.
know. Have you?
No. Nope. I never heard that one. Nope.
Didn't you hear that down at the county lockup, Rob? That sounds like
Nope.
something that you.
Nope. Never heard that one.
Or calamine
sure
calamine
Rob
lotion.
probably
That's the other one. Calamine
Sailor
lotion.
song.
That works. That works.
Yeah.
See, if I'm hiking in a group, calamine lotion would be a good one because people they say what you say, whatever you say the first line, and then they follow behind you. So and,
There you go.
that'll be a good one for springtime when the bugs start coming out.
All
All right,
right,
Dave.
here's
What's
my
your
next
next
one. Well, because dog tag has to come back every 8 weeks for medical reasons, then go back. His song when he's leaving to go back is Whitesnake, Here I Go Again.
Yeah, okay.
There you go. That's a good one. But while you're out there, you're starting off in a cool time of the year. But as it warms up, the layers come off, and as the layers come off, I notice you're kind of reddish in the hair. So that's going to lead into my next song, "Pink" by Aerosmith. That'll be from the sunburn.
Yeah.
True.
Pink.
Yeah.
They say the Appalachian Trail is called the Green Tunnel, and that's because once spring rolls around, you don't spend a whole lot of time out in the sun unless you're up on the balds and places like that. But for the most part, you're in the trees, and you won't. I don't know. I'm debating whether carrying the sunscreen and things like that. I will definitely have my hat on, but.
Well, let me throw this thought out there for you.
Okay.
You know what lives in trees and drops off onto people as they walk underneath them when they detect the heat?
Are we talking animals or insects?
Ticks.
Oh yeah. Well, I think
You
I
might
mentioned.
want to go over getting that sunshine.
I think we've mentioned that, and we talked about that a little bit in the past about getting tick inspections at night, and finding the right person to be hiking with you that's willing to do a tick inspection on the spots that you can't see.
I think there's one stuck on my backside. Will you get it off? Nope.
Well, you could just make a combination there while you're using the old bidet. You could do the tick inspection. I mean,
Did Rob order one yet? So
Nope.
he didn't tell me if he did. He wants to though.
All right, Miss Elizabeth, you got one yet?
No. I know. Let's see. Isn't it Katy Perry that sings Fireworks?
Who?
Oh, I'm asking the wrong crew. Never mind.
what's the John Denver song that they talk about? Rocky Mountain High or
Yeah, that's
song
one.
that somebody
Country
sings
Road.
West Virginia.
Country Roads is another one. Yeah. Country Roads.
Yeah. West
That would be
Virginia.
good too.
Mountain Highway, take me home. Country Road.
That one will
Well, I've
get
got you.
ahead when I get nearing end of Virginia.
Yeah. All right. Who's next? Dave?
Sure. Well, he's going to run into critters out there. So what popped in my head was "Creatures in the Night" by Kiss. "Creatures in the Night" by Kiss.
Creatures in the Night.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're definitely going to run into some critters.
Hey, but you know what you're not going to run into a whole lot of?
Rob?
You know what you're not going to run into me, but, places to take a shower and a bath.
Uh-huh.
So let me run you a Nirvana song here. Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Smells like teen?
Teen Spirit. T-E-N Spirit.
Oh, that's a good one,
Nirvana.
Knights. That is a good one. I didn't think about that one.
Oh, Knights of Ren's got it. Don't fear the Reaper.
Yes. Wow, that's a good one.
Yes.
I don't fear him.
Yep.
He's just going to be walking with me a few times, so.
All right, Miss Elizabeth, we're back to you.
Okay. I know. Did you get the other one that I said? Fireworks by Katy Perry.
Fireworks.
Katy Perry, Fireworks. Okay.
We got it now.
What? Okay.
Okay. Who's next? You want to do another one? Because we didn't get that one last time.
No, go ahead.
All right, Dave. You're not coming in very loud, so we're missing some there. What you got, Dave?
Sorry.
Some days you're going to be really happy. Things will be going good. You're going to feel good, looking good, feeling good. And I can't remember the group that sings it, but that song, "I'm Walking on Sunshine." It's real sappy, happy. You go and sing it out on a Monday morning, somebody wants to punch you out at work, but that's a good song when you're going down the mountain, the wind's at your back, everything's good. I'm walking on sunshine. And maybe that's the home stretch song or something.
Yeah, that's when you're walking into town for a resupply because you're nice and light because you've gotten rid of most of your food and you know that there's a nice good restaurant burger or something coming up. So yeah, walking on.
Hey, Barry Coball, welcome to the chat. He said kitty cat dance party.
Ooh, I don't even know what that one would be about.
I'm guessing cats.
Yeah.
And Knights of Brent said you might as well do Wrecking Ball.
Okay.
I got you something.
No, I don't need it, but thanks.
Chocolate milk ice mix to drink.
Will you put ice in it?
Yes.
Okay.
And cooked it.
You didn't cook it, did you? Why did you cook it?
It's for you.
Yeah, they're calling for snow up here, so Anakin gets to stay up late tonight. So.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can drink this.
Huh?
Take a sip.
Thank you.
See what it tastes like.
I got. He gave me some concoction here that he has made, so I got to take a sip. Do the dad thing,
Yeah. Hopefully it's good.
How is it?
What did you put in that?
Ice and mix. Ice and a mixer.
Okay.
That's scary. Well, there was this box. It had a rat on front of it, and
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I thought it was the sweetener.
It tastes like real chocolate milk, but it's not.
It's not real chocolate milk. You didn't go to the bathroom and get it, did you?
No. I usually cook it with microwave.
Whose turn is it?
I put microwaves inside of the milk.
Okay.
What you got?
Okay.
So I think sometimes you're going to go into places, see things that that you've never seen before, and you're just going to be like, "Wow, I'm not in Kansas anymore." So you're over the rainbow.
Over the rainbow.
Ah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have another one that I was laughing about as I was leaving work. It's popped in my head. That's the way I do. I didn't choose this song, but because I don't think you're going to find it out there on the trail. Although I don't know, but I got in the truck to go home, and the song "Love Shack On" was by the B-52s, and so I thought, well, I don't know, but I thought about there's other song "Roam Around the World," so that one kind of fits. That's a good traveling song.
Barry Cobalt, glad you're in here with us tonight. Yes, he's starting in Georgia and he's going all the way through 2,200-mile hike. Raise awareness for veteran suicide and first responder suicide. He's accepting donations. I guess we need to put that back up again real quick. Let's put it up. And none of this money goes to him. He's funding his own trip. All this is going to 4 different nonprofits to help raise awareness. These are for veteran and first responder groups. So if you want to donate there, he's asking for a penny a mile. You can use that QR code, and it'll take you right to him. Now we're trying to get him some songs up tonight to help keep him motivated and all that kind of stuff while he's on his journey. Because we want to support him, and actually we're having a little bit of fun with him too. But feel free if you come up with any songs or anything. Anybody out there, y'all put them up, and we will put them up on screen for him. And I couldn't help but think, you might run into a bear. And we're going to do our first Bruce Springsteen. We're going to hit the boss. Born to Run.
Born to Run.
If you run across the bear, that's the song. Born to Run.
Cool. Like it. That works.
Okay.
Yes. All right, Miss Elizabeth.
Come back to me. I've hit a lot of traffic.
All right. You want us to come back to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got you to wreck.
No wrecks.
All right. While you're sitting around the campfire, songs just naturally come to mind. One of this goes way back. I know you're going to know this. The Sons of the Pioneers, Tumbling Tumbleweeds. That's a good song to kind of sing. You can sing that with fellow hikers around the campfire, tumbling tumbleweeds.
Dude, that's just wrong. Okay. You're going to run out of breath going up these mountains and stuff.
What?
It's going to be strenuous. You're going to be gasping. It's going to happen. Every breath you take by the police. Every breath you take. Not the French got another good one. God bless the USA.
You know, that's one of my favorites.
Yes.
When I was in the military, I got to actually see him live perform that song.
Wow.
And probably one of the highlights of my military career, because as he sang it, and then there's a part there where it says "Stand up." There was a young soldier down the front row that stood up and saluted him, and then it's like the whole wave, just everybody in the crowd just all stood up and started saluting him. And it was just a really great experience, you know. So one of my favorites is "Wind Beneath My Wings." I don't know if you ever have heard that one, but that's a favorite one of mine. So that my daughter reminds me of that one a lot. So
I heard it way different than that.
Yeah.
It wasn't "Wind Beneath My Wings." It was "Wind Beneath the Sheets."
Did you say "wind between my cheeks"?
No, "Beneath the Sheets."
Beneath the cheeks. Now, are you talking these cheeks here?
Huh? I'm not whistling, dude.
Oh man. Yes, Barry, that one has been mentioned, and that is an excellent song for the trail.
Yes.
These boots were made for walking.
Absolutely.
You know, that's a good question. Real quick, before we go to the next song. Dog tag, do people, because of the weather and everything, sometimes their shoes or boots or whatever wear out? They get holes in them? Or
you'll on an average through hike, most people will go through 4 to 5 pairs of shoes.
Wow.
Yeah, 4 to 5 pairs of shoes. You're usually good for about 400 miles for each pair of shoes, and that's been kind of one of my dilemmas this week that I've been debating, because I have what they call trail runners, which is kind of like a tennis shoe, but it's more designed for somebody who runs out in the woods. But then I also have a pair of 3/4-inch boots. And I like those because they provide a little bit of ankle support. And me being an older guy, the ankle support would definitely be more helpful. The only problem is that with the boots, once they get wet, it takes a long time for them to dry. The nice thing about a trail runner is when they get wet, you know, if you just keep walking in them, they'll eventually dry themselves out, and they dry much faster. So, So yeah, I'm, and then of course, when you get to camp, you have what they call the camp shoes. You say hi, Anakin.
Hi, did I scare you?
When you get to camp, a lot of people will have a pair of Crocs or something like that they, because you want to get out of your shoes that you've been walking all day. And so you'll get a pair of Crocs, and, or the shoes I have are my Birkenstock Evos, which are like a sandal, but it's made out of really light plastic material. And so I'll carry those strapped to the outside of my backpack so that when you stop either for lunch or whatever, and you want to give your feet a little break, you take your shoes off and then throw your Crocs or your Evos on, and gives your feet a nice break. So, but yeah, to answer your question, you'll go through probably four pair, at least 4 pair on the trail. I was watching a young man that's on the trail this year. He started January 1st. Of course, he ran into a lot of snow, and he got into one area and was trying to dry his shoes, and he set
his shoes on fire.
Yeah, he set his shoes by the fire to try to dry them out, and unfortunately, his shoes caught on fire. And of course, when you're out in the middle of nowhere and you burn a hole in your shoe, that kind of sucks that you have to try to get into town to find a pair of shoes. So yeah, one of the things you got to be careful out there. And of course, the day that it happened, when he woke up that morning, he showed a picture of his shoe, and it had been all wet from the night before, and it was frozen solid, and he was having a hard time getting his foot inside the shoe that he was wearing. And so when he got into camp that night, he wanted to dry him out, but then he dried him a little too much.
Wow.
Well, I guess they were warm.
At that time, they probably were, yeah. So, but
Wow.
that would be a tough thing to be out on the trail and to have a blowout. I mean, one of the things that they tell you to carry is some duct tape or some other repair type of tape, so that if something like that happened, you could at least throw a few wraps of duct tape around your tennis shoe to at least get you into town. So I have on my walking poles, I have some duct tape wrapped around the pole, because you try to, as I think I've told you before, I try to multitask things. If I'm carrying something, I want to carry it for at least multiple purposes or whatever. So my walking poles are also my tent poles for my tent, and they're also the spindle for some of my tape that I'm carrying.
There you go.
That's
All
cool.
right.
It's interesting.
All right. Who's next? Miss Elizabeth, you still caught up in the traffic?
Yes.
Okay. Dave?
I'm just about through it. Maybe about 5 more minutes.
Okay. What you got, Dave?
Where's Miss Elizabeth at right now? Where's she driving at?
She's coming into Atlanta, I think.
Oh.
Are you in Atlanta?
Yeah, I just passed the airport.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I can understand that. Every time I've gone through Atlanta, you know, that's a town I didn't enjoy. It's almost worse than Boston. If you've ever driven up in the Boston area, you know, that's a horrible place to drive. So.
Yeah, a guy I went to church with said he got trapped on a roundabout that charged a toll every time he went around, and he couldn't get
Oh
over.
my goodness!
And the officer had mercy on him and stopped traffic on his third time around.
Wow.
That was outside somewhere around Boston. They was up there doing work, and he couldn't get over. Nobody let him in. You know, so he paid.
You know, one of the things they say about through hikers is after you've spent so many days and miles on the trail, and then you go and get in your first car, and when that car is going, you know, 30, 40 miles, they say it seems like you're driving 70, 80 miles an hour, because you're just not used to moving that fast. And they said that's definitely something that you'll experience when you ride in your first vehicle after being out on the trail for several, you know, a week or whatever. At least that speed that you're traveling is way different when you're averaging about 2 to 3 miles a day, 2 to 3 miles an hour, and then you go to 40, 50 to 60 miles an hour. You might think you're in a plane. So
that's true. I never thought about that either.
I'm sorry to hear that. You know, but I guess everybody's got to be from somewhere. So.
I
love it.
Well, I had another really good song for you, but I just don't know if I have the heart to do Baby Shark.
Baby Shark.
Oh, yeah. Baby Shark. I'm not going to do that to you. Instead, I'm going to do The Locomotion. Come on, do the locomotion with me. Come on, there you go. Yeah. That should be a good one. Miss Elizabeth's still in traffic. So we'll skip over her. We'll go back to Dave. Come on, Dave. I know you still got some.
I got a few. How about Bob Seger, Against the Wind? You know, you're definitely going to be facing the wind at times, and it's going to be, you know, tough. You know, you just got to deal with it. But I thought that was a song that could pop in your head, and you know, I'm against the wind.
Yeah. You know,
that other song would work real good too. What's the one he had about being in a band or whatever, and he's tired, and you know. What is that song? That one would probably work as well, because you're weary, you're tired.
Yeah.
God, what is the name of that song? Anyway, it'll pop in my head in a minute. You know, you're driving 16 hours for dog tag. It'd be I've been walking 16 hours, and you know, that song works. I just can't think of the name of it.
Nacho Brand said he did graduate to West Texas, so he's no longer in Boston. I got a good one for you. You know, because I've done some hikes and stuff like that, and sometimes it gets kind of rugged, and you're going up a hill, and you got to kick it in four low, you know, and you got to just push your way up that hill. So that would be a good time for low ride. Get a little lower.
You know, that one, Rob, will go for when I'm going through North Carolina and Tennessee, and where I mean, they've cleared most of the trees out of that area. But if I have to get up underneath some of those trees, or I'm sure I'll run into some storms out there that'll bring trees down. And being a big guy with a backpack on and trying to limbo ride under some of those trees.
Yeah. And also, if you're using that hiking bidet.
Yes. Yeah.
Barry, that's a good one. Here I go again on my own.
Yes.
That should be my kickoff song.
Yes. Yes. And if it's real cold in the morning when you get out of your tent, you can sing that song, It's All Right to Be Little Bitty.
Yeah. That's when you get up in the middle of the night and have to use the bathroom, and then it'll definitely.
I've got a saying for that, but I don't know if I could. I probably shouldn't do it here. Miss Elizabeth, I saw some street lights going past you. Are you still bottled up?
It's opened up some, yes, quite a bit actually.
Well, stick your fingers in your ears because I got some advice for you. When you get up in the middle of the night and go to the restroom and it's really cold like that, sometimes the only thing you can do is like use that bathroom, but the hiking bidet, and scream snake and scare it out.
Yeah. You watched the Keeper's movie when he talks about when he was sitting on the privy and the bear come knocking at the door. Oh. I asked him, I said, did you really not finish business? He goes, man, I puckered right up and I couldn't even imagine that.
No, I would have to think that I would be in the right spot at the right time if the bear came up to me while I was on the privy. It was just fate. God meant for me to be there. And that's because first you say it, then you do it. Sorry, that's just,
I would think you'd just go ahead and make everything come on out.
That's what I'm saying.
You'd think so. But he said it puckered him right up, So
I guess it could. Okay, now.
I'm saying it would just go ahead and scare it on out.
I think that's where he got scared at the school or the former mental place or whatever it was.
Yep.
I think he was probably going down the trail and that's what was happening.
Ooh.
All right, I got you another one. Tom Petty, I Won't Back Down. Because you got to push through this thing, man.
There you go.
He's got to tell himself, I'm not stopping. I came to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm not backing down.
That's when I get up into the New Hampshire area, and they say some of the toughest miles are in New Hampshire and Maine, and but well, I know if I get that far, there ain't nothing that's going to stop me. So might slow me down a little bit, but there ain't nothing that's going to stop me. So,
well, if that's the toughest miles, why didn't you start there and come to Georgia?
Hell no.
It's cold up there right now.
Well, partly it's too cold to start this early in the year. You don't get to start north unless you start in May, and I want to get on the trail, but I would much rather have my trail legs going through some of the roughest areas than starting out in those areas and trying to develop your trail legs. So yeah, I don't know how people do it. They call it a sobo, which is south to north. I mean, north to south. They call it. You're heading south.
Okay.
And I don't know. I just, my thought is that if I get to Katahdin in September and I'm loving life too much, I might just turn around and start heading back down, And they call it a they call it a yo-yo when you go up and then you turn right back around and come back down. And I don't know. Those are crazy. I mean, there's people out there that are doing what they call a triple crown. They do the Appalachian Trail, the Pacific Crest Trail, and the Continental Divide, and they do it all in a 12-month period. That is just strictly nuts. That is strictly nuts. So people who are capable of doing that are just way beyond my fitness level. So
how long are those other trails?
They're actually all longer than the AT. So I think the PCT is 2,400 miles, and I don't know off the top of my head the Continental Divide, but I believe it's further than all. I think it's the longest of the three. So, but in all of the literature that you read and everybody that you hear that talk about it, all these people who have done the Triple Crown of through hiking. They say the AT is the toughest because it has the most ups and downs. We're out there, when you get up in elevation, you stay up in elevation. You don't have the constant ups and downs. And I can't remember the exact number, but they say when you finish the AT, you'll have hiked Mount Everest 29 times. Jeez. But I may be wrong in that. Now, I know the number is high, and it may be more than 29, but they say with the elevation gain and you raise and gain up and downs that you do on the AT, that you will have hiked Mount Everest 20 plus times. So that's just one of the things. I just bought my American Legion post is a map of the Appalachian Trail. It's a 10-foot map that's going to hang on the wall in the hallway going into our Legion Hall. And the nice thing about that is it shows all of the elevation gains up and down as you're walking along the trail. And I don't know. Maybe for me, the best thing would be is to not even look at what's on the plan for tomorrow. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Well, you know what you have to do.
There's a song called "Just Do It," or maybe I don't know.
I don't know. But you know what you have to do.
I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry. You said you were starting out in Georgia. Where are you staying at in Georgia?
It's Springer Mountain. Springer Mountain is the southern terminus, and that is, and I don't hold me to it. Well, it's Amicalola State Park. Amicalola State Park is where you sign in to start your hike, and then you go. You can either do the approach trail, which is 8.5 miles to Springer Mountain, or you can do like I've done. I've walked once. I don't need to do it twice. So I'm just going to have my family drive me up to the Springer Mountain drop off, and there's a 0.9 mile walk from the drop off to the top of Springer. We'll take our pictures, turn around, and head back down, and then you're officially heading north off of Springer Mountain. So Springer Mountain is east, a little bit north of where you're at in Atlanta. Most through hikers will fly into Atlanta, and I guess there's a train or some kind of service that takes them to some small town near Springer, and then they have shuttle drivers that will pick you up there and take you up to Amicalola Falls or to the top of Springer Mountain. So
okay, because usually on the weekends I go to I have a different place up in Northwest Georgia, and it's close to Fort Mountain. I don't know if you know where Fort Mountain is. It's in Chatsworth, Georgia, but there is a place there that is, if I'm not mistaken, And Dave, you may know, and you might can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm thinking it's connected to the AT.
And it may be. I'm looking on
It
my
may-
Far Out app, and I'm trying to find the closest town that is to. They call it Nimblewheel. That's a town. Nimblewheel. I don't know if that's anything close to what you're. But yeah. But
it may be. I'm not
Gainesville.
sure.
I mean, Gainesville. Does that make sense? Gainesville, where Gainesville?
I know where Gainesville is.
We're the AT is kind of like west, slightly northwest from Gainesville. Yeah. I think we go through Gainesville to actually get to Amicalola Falls.
Yeah.
So.
It is. Fort Mountain is in Chatsworth is not a part of the Appalachian Trail.
Oh, okay.
But it is part of the Cohutta Mountains, which are part of the Appalachian Mountains.
Okay.
So, I got to look up on that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Barry, you live in Gainesville. There's Miss Jenna Ty there. We're helping Rob get some songs there for hiking up on the AT. We got to throw in at least one Madonna song. Okay. So as you're going up the trail, huh?
Are you going to do Vogue?
No.
God bless you.
Get into the groove.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I thought Rob was going to say Like a Virgin, man.
I swore that.
I was saving that for when we went to the nudist campground.
Oh, okay.
I was saving that one. It was on the list, Dave.
I've been around you too long, man. You start talking about stuff like that. That's the way my mind goes.
And I was going to do another Elvis song there too, "Love Me Tender."
Love Me Tender.
Or Jailhouse Rock.
Was that one for the nudist Colin?
You know, Rob, you mentioned the Jailhouse Rock. There's a town along the trail, and I don't remember where it's at. When I get closer, I'm sure I'll read it on Far Out app. But they let you actually sleep in the old jail in that town. That's one of the places that if you want to sleep, they'll put you up in the old jail, and you can actually sleep in the old jail. So I can't remember the name of the town, but I've heard people talk about it several times. So
I think I would have to pass on that.
Well, if they have Elvis night at the nudist campground, you get 3 different types of loving. Love Me Tender, Don't Be Cruel, and Jailhouse Rock.
There you go.
I'm just saying, Just saying.
Thank you. We love you too, Jake. Thanks for coming in on Twitch and giving us a little airtime there. We appreciate it.
I hope that these are helping you. They're
definitely giving me some ideas. I'm one of those guys that when I walk, I like to just listen to the sounds of nature and stuff. But I think I need to put together at least a music list, so that those days that I'm struggling or days that I need some motivation, plug in the earbuds and at least one of them, because I don't want to be out on the trail having 2 earbuds in my ear and then have a bear come walking up behind me.
I wouldn't do that either. There's no way I could do that.
So I think I'll just do one earbud and at least be able to hear a little bit out of the other one, So
yeah,
there you go.
All right. Of course, at night when you're sleeping if you're sleeping in the shelters, they tell everybody to carry earplugs just so that you can sleep through the snorers. And that might be the time that you plug in your playlist and listen to music instead, so you don't have to listen to all the snorers. So.
Oh, now that'd be scary too. Because then you don't know what's going to come up to the tent.
I almost feel safer in my tent than I do sleeping in some of those shelters. I mean, unless you like mice. If you like mice and want them to be part of your nighttime sleep, I would much rather be in my
They're not
tent.
going to eat much.
Yeah, they're not going to eat much. They just annoy. I remember hiking in the Grand Canyon years and years ago when I had a skunk run across my face one night when I was cowboy camping out there, and I was looking at the stars, and I heard something woke me up, and I heard this rustling off in these leaves, and then the next thing I know, something come running across my face, and I, of course, immediately sat up and looked over, and there goes that little white tail flopping all down, It just normally we sleep in tents, but sometimes we cowboy camp. They call it cowboy camping, and that, that got my attention. And so, like I said, a lot of people complain about sleeping in the shelters along the trail, that they run into a lot of mice in the shelters. So
Okay. All right. Let's see. So how about for an upbeat one, you could do wait a minute. Did we do what was the Journey song we did?
We did a couple of.
Oh my goodness, I forgot.
Did we do
Which
Don't
one you
Stop
got?
Believing?
No, we didn't do that one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good
Don't
one.
Stop Believing by Journey.
yeah, now that one would work. So
All right. Dave, you got more?
I got a couple, three more. Yeah, Riding the Storm Out, REO Speedwagon.
yeah, the big nights of the rainstorms when you're sitting in the shelters, right? So
Yeah.
I remember I was reenacting the first year I ever reenacted, Civil War reenacted. We were at Resaca, and we battled on Saturday. And some of the guys, well, I slept there Friday night, and we battled all day Saturday. And they asked me if I was going to stay till Sunday, and I was kind of wavering. I don't know. It was my first time. I'd had a run in with a guy, and I wanted to wrap a gun around his neck, So I was open to it, but then I heard there was a storm coming in. And I said, I think I'm going to check out and just go on home and go to church. And I got a couple of the guys said, oh, you wimp, and it's just a little rain. Come on, man. So I went on, and I found out everybody left, man. They had the most ungodliest storm come in that night, and it just totally washed out camps. Lightning was striking everywhere. And then they turned around and said I was the smart one for getting out. It was just the worst storm ever. But that's one thing you can't control, man, is those storms, the lightning, the wind, the rain.
I'll tell you, they've been, I bet you're going to hear in the near future, there's going to be some people writing some pretty incredible stories about riding the storm out when Helene came through North Carolina and Tennessee.
Yeah.
There's some pictures that some of the through hikers had posted that it was just incredible. I mean, I remember seeing a video of Damascus where they had plucked a couple through hikers off the river that had gotten stuck out in the middle of the river, and they had to airlift them off. The helicopters crew came and lifted them out. So, but yeah, it's I mean, we'll try to keep track of weather and what weather's doing and what's ahead of us. Sometimes you're going to get caught blind, but for the most part, I will depend on weather apps to keep me a little bit more informed on some of the bad weather that's coming up. I know a lot of the individuals that are hiking already on the trail. When we got that big old cold spurt down there in the south, they had to get off the trail because it was just sub-zero temperatures a few nights. So it just, it's tough. I mean, I think the cold is, you can deal with it, but when you get wet, you get miserable. And so, that's something that
Barry, it's a good question I have. He talks about, are people more dangerous than the animals on the trail, or it sounds like it. I know you meet a lot of great people, but there is the possibility of running into trouble. And I remember years ago, this is probably 20 years ago, and I think she was on the AT. I may be wrong on that, but it was a University of Georgia student that I believe that was on hiking with her dog, and there was some nut out there that attacked her and killed her. not to be negative tonight, but is there stories like that?
Oh yeah.
Of rare
There-
occasions of
There-
trouble.
there's a guy that
And
there's a guy that does a podcast, and he talks about murders on the AT, and he's talked about some of the different ones. Probably the most recent one I think occurred in 2019. They had a murder on the trail, and because one of the podcasts that I listen to is Mighty Blue on the AT. He does a weekly podcast where he talks to hikers that have hiked the trail, and he was actually doing his second through hike in 2019 when the murder occurred. And of course, it's amazing how the information travels up and down that trail. And people heard about it. People were getting off the trail to get away from it, and I think they ended up catching the guy, and of course he got prosecuted, whatever. But they had another guy that before that who had killed some people, served his time, and then got out, and then went back to the trail again. And I can't remember if he assaulted, but they ended up having some additional problems with him, and they got him off the trail. But the thing that being a retired firefighter paramedic, when I was doing my job, I used to always, when I was training a new paramedic, I'd always tell them, follow your gut. If your gut tells you that something's wrong, follow it. If you're hiking around somebody that you're just not getting a good vibe, pack your shit up and go. Don't take no chances. I think I told you, I'm not carrying a gun. I'm not carrying. I mean, the biggest knife I have has probably got a 2-inch blade on it. They say you're safer on the Appalachian Trail than you are in any big town, Atlanta, wherever.
Oh, sure.
Even here where I live. The number of murders that occur within a small community probably compare with what happened on the Appalachian Trail every year. And I mean, it does it happen? Yes. But does it happen in the towns that you live in? Yes. So, but the thing that I've learned is to follow my gut feeling. And if you just don't feel good about a situation, just keep moving, keep moving. So, and the nice thing about the Appalachian Trail is you're usually within a day's walk of most towns. So,
Now, you're not carrying a gun or a knife, but I'm a firm believer in chemical warfare in circumstances where it's called for.
yeah.
Let it fly. If they can stand the smell, then go for it.
A lot of people, and I'll answer his question here in a minute. A lot of people will say that they start out carrying these big canisters of bear spray, and I mean, my thought is that if it's a bear and he's coming at me, the big thing, and I know you've joked about it a little bit, Rob, that, run from the bear. That's the first thing they tell you not to do, is to run from the bear, because that's a sign of weakness. And if you show a sign of weakness, then you become their chow. Me,
but then again, you also don't want to go, hey, you stop. And the bear goes, I know you ain't talking to me. Who the heck
well, they tell you what you should try to do is make as big a presence as you can. And that's where you take your walking sticks and you get them above your head and you start banging them really loud.
Oh, dude.
But the thing that I think I'm more worried about is not bears as far as animals go, but and snakes. Snakes, they'll get you when you don't least expect it. But when you get up north, the moose, if you run into a moose, boy, those can be some mean critters. So, and they'll stomp you. So we'll see. But it says, how am I fixed for Wi-Fi or data on the trail? For the most part, all of my shakedown hikes, I've had Wi-Fi or phone access about 90% of the time. There's just a few times when you get on the backside of a mountain that you may not have a signal, but if you get up on top of a hill, you're within a short, I won't say a stone's throw of most towns, but you are close enough that you'll be able to get Wi-Fi or phone service. And I think I mentioned I'm carrying a a GPS device. It's called an inReach.
Yes.
That you can activate it. It sends out an SOS signal, and it sends a signal to Garmin as to your immediate location. And if you don't reply back, they're sending help. So, but as far as the Wi-Fi, most of the hostels that you go in will have Wi-Fi, and that's where I'll try and do some of my video editing on the trail if I have the energy at night. And then when I get into town, I will upload my videos. Might even call some guys that are down in the South and talk with them on their podcast, and and they can see the changes that physically that will have occurred in me, and then I'll have probably a few more good stories for Rob. So
there we go. But when you're going up over the mountains, you go way up and you come down. But while you're way up there, I got a special song for you to sing. Knocking on Heaven's Door, the Guns N' Roses version.
Yeah.
You gotta get the axle going, knocking on heaven's door. Hi. Yeah. That was probably horrible, but
I'm sure there'll be days where I feel like I'm knocking on the door to heaven. So,
well, when you feel like that. Oh, go ahead.
No, it reminds me of another song when you said that was "Over the Mountain" by Ozzy Osbourne. So
yes,
that's a good mountain song. Aggressive, I like it.
And when you're feeling kind of like, why am I here? Why am I doing this? Tears of a clown.
Of the clam? Is that what you said?
The clown. Tears of a clown.
Oh, Tears of a Clown. Oh, okay.
I like
that. That was Smokey Robinson. Cool. Yeah.
Okay, how about have we done The Wanderer?
No, we haven't. We have not.
No, we haven't. That's not bad.
That's a good one.
Yes.
That's a good one. There's a song by Def Leppard called "On Through the Night," and I think about that's a good question. Do you ever hike at night, or is that just?
Well, no, a lot of people do, and they'll when they want to get into a certain town, or when they want to get a few extra miles, they'll hike at night. And I think I mentioned before that it's going to be one of those decisions I'll make when I get there. But when you leave Harper's Ferry, there's the 4-state challenge. And the idea is that you hike it's a 44-mile section of the trail. And you go through Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, and Pennsylvania. Wow. And they call it the 4-state challenge. And anybody that does that, they definitely have to do some nighttime hiking. So, if it's a full moon, I would love to hike at night, but
yeah.
So when you see the two little beady eyes off in the woods, that's when you got to think, are you really wanting to do what you're doing? So, but they'll be. Do I plan to do any night hiking? At the time, I don't. Right now, I don't. But when you hook up with a tramily and a family, and everybody kind of puts the guilt on you, saying, "Hey, Rob, we're gonna hike an extra 5 miles," and then you're gonna end up into the dark, hiking into the dark, and what a lot of people try to do is they try to get up early in the morning before this, because see, they call what they call hiker midnight is 9 p.m. on the trail, and at 9 o'clock if you're in a campsite, they expect you to be quiet so that everybody can go to sleep. And so if you go to sleep between 8 and 9 o'clock at night, you're ready to get up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And so a lot of people will get up really early before the sun's even risen. They'll pack up their gear, they get out on the trail, and they hike a mile or two before the sun comes up. And then once the sun comes up, they'll stop and make themselves some breakfast and then keep hiking. Or you just carry some cold breakfast and you eat while you hike. So,
okay, we got to back up a little bit.
Okay, sorry.
Because you went on too quick, and I didn't understand something. Did you say when you run into a tramily?
It's called a tramily, a trail family.
Okay. I thought you were saying something about trains. You know, it was going. It went over my head. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Um, this
Well, you know, we live in
my
a
mind,
society now. I may run into a few of those out there on the trail, but
in my mind, the Appalachian Trail just got a lot harder to hike.
yeah.
Okay, move forward. I'm sorry. I think I
You know,
killed him.
they're trying to promote the trail and bring all. They say that the numbers for the, you know, if you do the demographics of people hiking the trail, the white race is probably the dominant course race on the trail, and it's probably more of about a 75%, I would say, on the trail is white, whether male or female. But they're really trying to promote it to see more African Americans hiking out on the trail. And I have seen a few people who have posted their intent videos, which you don't see a whole lot of. I mean, last year when I went to Trail Days, I think I might have seen maybe 2 African Americans at Trail Days. And I asked the one young lady I was talking to, because I have biracial kids. I've adopted 6 kids, and 4 of them are biracial. And so, you know, it's something that, you know, I was curious about, you know, why we don't see more, you know, different races on the trail. And it's just, the biggest thing is that, you know, the inner city kids, they don't get exposed to this stuff. There's a guy that does a nonprofit up in northern part of Virginia. And he does a summer camp program to try to introduce the AT to city kids. And costs an average of about $400 for each kid to go to his program. But his whole intent is to introduce the trail to these kids so that, you know, that they can maybe one day do what we're doing, do what I'm doing, you know. So I know when I was a scoutmaster in Vegas, you know, Vegas is a pretty big city. You know, we used to take the kids out into some pretty remote areas. And that, you know, it was always nice to expose the great outdoors to a city kid, you know.
All right, well, let's throw your card up there again. For anybody who hadn't seen, don't know what's going on yet tonight. This is Rob Diamond, aka Dog Tag. He's going to be hiking the Appalachian Trail. He's doing it in support of veteran and first responder suicides, for awareness on that. He's not for raising awareness for it. He's asking for donate a penny a mile. It's a 2,200 mile hike, and that equates out to about $22. You can use the QR code here. He's paying for his expense out of his own pocket, but the money that he raises is going to 4 different nonprofit groups to raise awareness for veteran and first responder suicide prevention. So, y'all, if you have it, please do. This is a good cause, and yeah.
And you don't even have to do $22 if all you can afford is 10. I mean, or $1. I'll take what you can afford, you know. So I don't know if you've seen the numbers. I think Dave, you made a donation for us, and you know, yes, right now it's sitting at $476, and I haven't even stepped out on the trail yet. So and then one of the nice things is, and I'll maybe throw this challenge out to some of the people who are members of some other organizations. I went and spoke to the local Ruitans here in Virginia, and they're a nonprofit group, a volunteer group. They do a lot of volunteer work in the communities. They're actually sponsoring me 10 cents a mile. So they're going to make a donation of $222 to my cause. So yeah, if you're part of an organization, and you know, and you can go on, when you go on the site to make the donation, you can dedicate the donation to an individual. I know one of the donations I got was from a sister where her brother was a Vietnam vet, and he succumbed to his demons, and she designated her donation in his honor. So, and I'm carrying his dog tag with me. So, you know,
so
you know,
yeah, my donation is for the podcast. It's for me and Rob. So,
well, I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
It came under my name, but it's from both of us. So,
well, thank you. So. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So if I want to do it in memory of someone, but they did not commit suicide.
No, my sister did one for my parents. Both my parents were veterans, and so she did $100 donation in honor of both my parents. And it doesn't even have to be in honor of a veteran or first responder or law enforcement. If you want to just donate it in honor of your kids, you can still put that on our page. So on the
Because
donation.
my dad was a veteran, but he did not commit suicide.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, if you'd like to make a donation and make it in honor of a family member, and I think I've mentioned it to Rob and Dave before that I come from a pretty strong military family. Both my grandfathers were military.
Dad,
What's
you
that?
were supposed to drink it.
I know, but I've been busy talking, so I can't. I'll drink it when I'm done. All right.
That's a good question, because I actually thought about doing a donation and putting Ashley Babbitt on there, who unfortunately was, shot at the Capitol, and just keeping her name out there as, she's obviously not with us anymore. But I didn't know if that was appropriate since
no, like I said, and,
suicide. So
I've had a few people that have asked me to carry a dog tag in honor of a family member that didn't commit suicide, and I said, hell yeah, if you'd like me to carry, because one of the ladies in our American Legion post lost her brother. He was in the military serving and got some medical illness, and it ended up taking his life, and so. She asked me to carry his name, and I said, heck yeah, I'll carry his name, because my plan is if a family wants it, when I finish, my plan is to take the dog tag, put it in a frame along with a picture of me standing up on top of Katahdin, and I will send that to those families. So it's just awesome. I'm not going to carry those and then just stick them in a drawer somewhere. I'd much rather have those go back to the family. And I think I mentioned the last when we talked Friday that there's a Navy commander that shared his son's information, who was a Navy SEAL for 28 years, committed suicide. And he is going to be hiking the Gold Star Peak in Alaska in June, where he'll hang his son's dog tags up on top of that mountain in Alaska. And he's asked me to send him a dog tag that a copy of the one that I'm going to be carrying with me. He's going to take that with him when he goes in June. And he's actually reached out to me and says, hey, Rob, keep in touch, because I live in North Carolina and he'd like to come hike with me a day, to get ready for his Alaska trip. But, it's just the stories that I'm getting from some of these families that, and I always ask them, I say, if you don't want me to share it with people, I won't share it. It'll just be a story for me. But if you'd like me to share their story, I'll share their story. And so it's kind of nice when, people say, tell us about one of these names that you're carrying, and I can pick a story and talk a little bit about it. And, it seems that most people will tell you, we just never saw it coming. We just never saw it coming. And that's what's horrible about suicide. I always, as a fireman, I responded on a few suicide attempts, and I always felt that if they really wanted to be successful, they wouldn't have made it so visible, or they wouldn't have called anybody and says, hey, I'm doing this. So it's those people that you don't hear about, that go park themselves under a tree and, put a gun to their head, or there's a young man that lives here locally. I met him, and I was telling him what I was doing, and he pulls up his sleeve, and he's got a 22 tattooed on his arm. And then he goes to tell me the story that his wife was a veteran, and she committed suicide by drug overdose. It's just, it's not, suicide is just not something that, it only doesn't hit just a certain person or a certain caliber. And it's just the more we talk about it, the more, and then people will feel comfortable enough to seek out help. And because, those of us that are big and burly, we sometimes say we're afraid to ask for help. And the big thing is that, you know, if you're having crisis, you know, there are people out here that can help you over those rough humps. So,
And speaking of which, we've got an interview with Joe and Donna that's going to be Loving Deers Ministries. That's going to be airing this Friday. Let me find their card here if I can. There we go. Thank you. Nope, that's background. That's not what I wanted. I have messed up, Dave. It's up here. There it is. If you're in crisis and you need somebody to talk to, Joe and Donna at Love Endures Ministries, they're very good. They're Christian counselors. Their advice comes out of the Bible. They're very good. I can personally testify that they know what they're talking about. And if you're in crisis, it's very affordable. It's $30 a session, and that's cheap for counseling. It's another option for you. And they do relationships. They do grief counseling. They work with addictions. It's kind of the full spectrum there. So if you're in trouble and you don't have anybody to talk to, there's a number right there. Hit them up. And yeah. So I want to put that out there. I mean, it's another option for people. A lot of people don't like going to the VA.
Anakin, will you tell Mom that I'm on the TV? Anakin, will you go tell Mom that I'm busy?
The first responders and such may not have that option, but here's an option for everybody. So we want to put that out there.
Well, I know as far as first responders go, and I think I might have mentioned this maybe in our first interview, Rob, that you know, when I was a fireman paramedic on the job in Vegas, it was important that leadership recognized that, you know, if I went on a bad call, and of course there were a few calls that I went on at the time when my eldest daughter, my eldest daughter was probably about 2 or 3 years old at the time, and I get a call for a cardiac arrest for a young child. And when I get there, and it's this little kid that was dressed in a sleeper, that unfortunately his mom had fallen asleep with him in the waterbed with her. She rolled over on him and basically suffocated him. But we get there and we're trying to work this little call, and the baby was wearing a pink sleeper, and all I could keep thinking about was my daughter at the time, and I kept calling it a her. I says, when was the last time you saw her? What was going on with her? And the mother proceeds to yell at me right in the middle of the call, and she goes, "God damn it, it's not a her, it's a him," you know. And of course, I didn't see that until we took all of his clothes off and we started, you know, when we got in the ambulance and, you know, we exposed him and everything to work on him. But it was just tough that there. And so when I got back to the station that day, you know, the captain that was on duty at the time, you know, heard about the call. And within the fire service, we have a peer support group that they will, if there's somebody on duty that's part of the peer support group, they'll pull them off of their duty station and bring them to the station, talk to the crew that was on the call. Just kind of, you know, they don't pressure you to talk about the call, but it opens that door to give you the opportunity to talk with people about the calls. And there were a number of times in my career that we did it. I'm just glad now that they're doing it a lot more than they used to, because, you know, years ago, I mean, when you went on shitty calls, you were told, suck it up, baby. You know, that's part of the job, you know? And so I got a question for Rob Diamond. Can I make you a song? Sorry for asking. Sure. Make me a song.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. He made a song for us, and we're going to be incorporating it here on the podcast.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, he does outstanding work.
Well, I'd love to have a song. You know, I post on my YouTube. You know, I try to use some music when I'm posting just videos of, because trust me, it gets boring for somebody to watch a video of just me walking down the trail. And so what a lot of people do is they'll show the videos and then they'll back it up with some music. And so YouTube's pretty. They if you don't have permission to use the music, they'll pull your videos. So, but if somebody was to offer to write me a song, heck yeah, do I have to pay you? So, but yeah.
You was talking about the trauma. I remember years ago, my pastor was a volunteer firefighter, and a lot of people remember this when I say it. This goes back quite a few years, but when there was a school bus that was hit by a train where there were a number of children. It was 4, I believe, that were killed, a lot of injuries, and over the radio, you could hear the men breaking down as they were working that scene. It was very, very traumatizing. When she pulled across the railroad tracks to do a turnaround, but got real sloppy, like she wasn't stopping and looking and all that. They've since fixed that up, I think, but crossed back over the railroad tracks and got the train hit, and it was just a horrible scene. But all those men were in trauma. I mean, every one of them. I mean, you're working a scene with several dead children. I mean, it has to affect you. I mean, I don't know how it could not.
And I've always told people that I always felt like it would be a kid call that would take me off the job. And, I mean, one of the toughest calls I ran in my career involved 2 kids that weren't even injured, but it was what they saw. And it was 2 days before Christmas, and their mother was dating the 2 girls' father. They weren't married, but he came and wanted to visit the kids. She had a restraining order against him, but so she called the police. She was actually a corrections officer, and she had called the police to have him removed. Well, the police officer convinced this lady to let him come in and visit with the kids. But what he didn't do is he didn't stay on scene, and he left. And then he pulls a gun out right in front of the 2 girls, and he shoots their mother 2 times in the chest. And then he takes the gun and blows his head off. And, of course, I got there and was worried about the 2 people that had been shooting. And I, realized that both of them were dead. And then the police officer came up to me, and it wasn't the police officer. It was one of my partners that came in on the unit behind me. And they all knew that I had kids and that I was doing foster care at the time. And so Don, my other paramedic buddy, came in and said, "Big D, we need you to go check 2 more outside." And of course, it immediately hit me that I missed 2 people walking into this scene. And he goes, "You need to go outside. They're sitting in the police car." And so I went out there, and there was these 2 little girls that were sitting in the police car, and they wanted me to talk to them. And of course, I immediately started talking to them. And of course, the media had showed up, and I had asked my other partner to get in between the kids and the camera, and didn't want them to be seen on camera. And but the youngest of the 2, Brittany, she wanted me to go back in and take her mom's organs out and give them to somebody else. She goes, "Can't you go in and take mommy's organs out?" Because she had asked me, "Is my mommy going to be okay?" And I'm a firm believer as a first responder that I don't lie to kids. I mean, I'm straight up with them. And I told her, I said, "No, sweetie," I said, "there's nothing I can do for your mom right now. And your mom has passed." And then she came back and said, "Well, can't you go in and take mommy's organs out and give them to somebody else?" And I tell you, even just talking about it right now, it still chokes me up, And, wow. It was just incredible that these 2 little girls had, the older one, Tiffany, she actually witnessed the shooting. I could tell just by her response. She had witnessed this shooting. Now, Brittany was not in the room, and she was asking me all these questions. Of course, it was 2 days before Christmas. She wanted to know, what will we do for Christmas? And I had told her that they were trying to locate her grandmother, and their grandmother would come pick them up. And she goes, "Well, how will Santa Claus find me, if, I'm at grandma's house?" And I told her, it's just the questions that you had to entertain at the time, are just incredible. And I mean, that's just one of many calls that I had in my, 28-year career. And I mean, the guy that he works now for Las Vegas, and he runs a nonprofit group called Firefighters Behavioral Health Alliance. And his mission is to help firefighters in crisis. and to help their families. And he's the one that gave me all the information for my dog tags, for most of my firefighter dog tags. And he has done a phenomenal job where he has a program where he goes and supports family of the fallen, because that's what happens when somebody commits suicide. They don't really think about how it affects the families that are left behind. And that's where Jeff, his program is to really try to help those family members who have lost somebody. And that's what's tough, is people don't, when they're in crisis, they don't often think about how it's going to affect. And I think I mentioned to Rob, or I might have mentioned it to both of you, that one of the names two of the names that he sent me a list of 8 names initially, and 2 of them had the same last name. And I wrote back to him and I said, hey, is this an error, or do both of them have the same last name? And if so, are they family? And one was the father, who committed suicide the first, and then his son subsequently 5 months later committed suicide. They both worked for the same fire department. His father was a captain, the son was a firefighter. And I can't even imagine. Jeff was telling me that they're writing a book about firefighter suicide and things like that, and that family is going to be included in the book. And it'll be interesting to hear the story of what happened there, and that's, that's the biggest thing about suicide. And, it's that thing that nobody wants to talk about, or no family wants to admit that their family member committed suicide. But I think one of the biggest things we can do to fix this problem is we need to, as a community, we need to start talking about it, and educating people on what to look for, because there are small little signs that pop up and tell people, hey, this person's having some issues. When they start becoming reclusive and don't want to talk or, attend family functions, it's time to be thinking, is something going on with this individual? So may not always be, but, and of course, they say that a lot of the firefighter suicides occur, and I'm sure it's the same with the police side of the house. And of course, we see it a lot in the military, but a lot of people who commit suicide do it within their first year of leaving the job, and because they've gotten so used to a lifestyle of work that now they're having to live with those demons on a more daily basis. And but yeah. Sorry, if I went off.
No. It's all good. Do you think, from your perspective, is the first responders awareness? It all needs to be better, but is it as great as, or is it less than the veterans' awareness for this, or is it about equal?
Well, do you know? Well, I'm sure you've heard about a lot of veteran suicide, but a lot of people don't know that we're losing more police officers and firefighters as a result of suicide than we are in line of duty. I was a member of the Honor Guard in Las Vegas for most of my career. And when every year we'd go to Colorado Springs to do the memorial service for the fallen firefighters. And we were averaging about 200 firefighters a year to line of duty deaths. Now, the one thing that I just became aware of that I wasn't, because we used to have an issue with it, because when I was working for Vegas, we lost two young firefighters that both committed suicide while they were on the job. And they didn't get the firefighter funeral that typically a fallen firefighter gets. It was like nobody wanted to talk about so-and-so who had killed himself. And, we on the Honor Guard still attended their funeral, we did what we could do as far as an Honor Guard, of honoring the individuals. But, if you die in the line of duty as a fireman or a police officer, it's a pretty big show. You'll see thousands of people coming from all over the country, that to honor the fallen. But you have somebody that commits suicide, most departments don't want to talk about it. But Jeff just told me that the International Association of Firefighters now, if they can tie it into a line of duty suicide, they will recognize them as a line of duty death. And so that was one thing I was really happy to hear, because they didn't used to do that. If a person committed suicide, he or she wasn't given the full firefighter death, funeral, but they have since changed that. So like I said, we are making things better, but I don't think people are as aware of our first responder suicide. When I was started doing my research last year, and somebody said, Rob, are you aware that we lose more police officers to self-inflicted gunshots than we do line of duty? And it threw me for a loop, because
Wow.
I guess I just always thought cops were the tough guys, the strong guys, and why would they put a gun to their head, but that's kind of what, wow, he's pretty talented if he's got the song already.
Yeah. You'll have to check that out,
And to answer his question, I don't know if my email's up on my YouTube page, but I will add it. I'll go in there and make sure it's added. But if you're interested now, it's basically Rob Diamond, leave off the ERT, but Rob Diamond 811@gmail.com. And so if anybody has any names that they want me to do dog tags for, or any questions or information, please drop me an email. I mean, I do leave Saturday, but I will be checking my emails and my text messages while I'm out on the trail. And, I'll be looking for things to do to keep me busy. So replying back to emails and text messages, I'll be glad to do.
Absolutely.
Did I answer your question, I guess, Dave? Too.
Yes,
I tell you what,
did.
let me see what I can do here. See if I can work some magic, and we'll see if we can put his song up. I'm pretty confident in it. I know what he sent to us, and
Is that the song I was listening to last Friday when I punched in, you guys? Oh, that is pretty incredible. Yeah.
So let me see if I can get it pulled up here. I'm going to try this. This is something new that I'm trying, getting this stuff in there and being able to share the music and stuff. It's going to take just a little bit to load here, and I'll see if I can share it up there. Y'all keep talking in the meantime. Yeah. Oh, when you're first starting off on your hike, I got one more good song for you.
Okay.
And I can share this with you because we're all older here. We're gonna hit a Steely Dan song, "Reeling in the Years."
Yeah.
Are you reeling in the years?
Well, I had a couple more before we run out of time. I'll give them while you're loading that up.
Yeah.
Because one of them is, I don't think I did the Tom Petty song "Running Down a Dream," and I know this is something that you put a lot of thought in, a lot of your soul, a lot of passion, and so definitely think that way. Another aggressive song, which is kind of talking about something else, but I think of the AC/DC song "Walk All Over You," because you're walking all over the AT, man. You gotta, you gotta get aggressive with it. Another one is Whitesnake in "The Still of the Night." That's a good aggressive song. That in "The Still of the Night," there's a lot of thought. And the last one I have is "When Your Body Feels Like It's Just." There's a video the video is what really made me think of this song, by the rock group Rush, and they had a song called "Roll the Bones." In the video, it shows them kicking like, I don't know, pieces of skeleton along. Sometimes you feel like that, when you get really worn out. Roll the bones. You gotta keep on pushing them bones. Maybe it's what is that song? That made me think of that other song that was about his dad. What was the Alice in Chains? They had that song. And his dad was a veteran in Vietnam, and Rooster. That's a good song too. You think about that song. You think about military though. That's a really good song. But he did about his dad. I think it was about his dad. So that was my list. We gave you a lot of good song titles.
I got almost 2 pages written down here, so I'm gonna do some work. And
Hey, I got you one more.
Okay.
"Eye of the Tiger."
Oh yeah.
Eye of the Tiger. Yeah.
All right, let's see.
That's the one. That's the one on the mountain going to Katahdin. When you're
Well,
climbing that last.
maybe one more. It just popped in. How about the old Blue Eyes himself? I did it my way, or and
Oh,
Elvis
yeah.
sung it too. I did it my way. That would be the end of the trial. You did it your way. You
Yeah.
took a lot of
And that's
advice.
what, yeah. And that's what everybody says is hike your own hike,
Yeah.
and so, I don't plan to rush up the trail. I plan to, the main trail is followed by a white blaze. You follow the white blaze of the trail. And then there's other blazes that are off the side and they call it blue blazes, which usually will take the trail that takes you to the shelters or takes you into town, and they blue blaze in it. Of course, there's another one it's called pink blazing. So I know I can see your gear. I can see your gears thinking right now, Rob. Pink blazing is when usually a guy will hook up with a female and they'll hike the trail together when they didn't plan to hike together, and they call it, or when a guy will follow along with a group of females and they call it pink blazing. Yeah, that you're following the pink blaze. So, and then I'm going to do what they call the aqua blaze, and that's where you either float or, paddle a section of a river that runs parallel or adjacent to the AT. And I'd like to do that kind of in honor of my dad. My dad was he loved the outdoors and he loved canoeing. And if he was still alive, I'm sure that's probably what he would do, is come meet me so that he could aqua blaze. We're going to do the Shenandoah River here in Virginia. So,
All right, let's see if I've got this thing set up now, and hopefully this thing will work right. Y'all hear that?
yeah.
Yes.
He laces his boots, steps into the dawn, 1,000 miles ahead, but he's walking on. For the ones we lost, for the ones who fight, for the silent battles waged in the night. Each step he takes, a promise made, to carry their names, to never let them fade. So he walks for the broken, walks for the brave, for the ones we remember, the lives we couldn't save. With dog tags clinking, the stories remain. Through the mountains and rivers, he carries their names. From Georgia to Maine, through the cold and the heat, every step is a prayer, every mile bittersweet. A penny a mile, a lifeline of hope, for the ones still here trying to cope. Each step he takes, a promise made, to carry their names, to never let them fade. So he walks for the broken, walks for the brave, for the ones we remember, the lives we couldn't save. With dog tags clinking, the stories remain. Through the mountains and rivers, he carries their names. No one fights alone, no one's left behind. Vets helping vets, hearts intertwined. Together we stand, together we fight, to bring back the lost into the light. He laces his boots, steps into the dawn. The road is long, but he marches on. for the ones we lost, for the ones who stay. We'll walk beside you every step of the way.
Wow.
Dude, there's your song you can take with you.
That is incredible.
That is
I hope he
incredible.
gives me permission to share that, but you know, and he produced that just while we've been sitting here talking. That
Jake's
is
amazing. He did that for
He
us,
is.
and we're going to have him on the show soon.
Jake, if you're hearing this, dude, that's way beyond what I could have ever expected. And I would love to share that with some of the families that are sharing their families with me on the trail. And I'd love
I think he said right here that
he just
you can use it.
Posted up.
Wow.
Right here.
Okay.
There you go.
There you go. Dude, if you could use that as background for some of your hiking up through there.
Oh,
You gave me chills, dude. Yeah, I've got.
I'm gonna go back and find all the video that I've used this past year to get ready for my hike, and I think I'm gonna try and put it all together and hopefully before I go out on Sunday, I'm gonna see if I can put it to a video. And dang, dude, I can't thank you enough. That is
I'm
about in tears. I mean, that's amazing, man. Oh, wow.
We have some of the
Jake, if you're not making millions, you should be, dude. I'm telling you that, you know, and I know that people are going to hear that and they're going to say, who wrote this? And when they hear the fact that three fat guys were sitting here on a screen just talking about the AT, and he sat at home and wrote that song, and I'm just like that. It just, not that I'm calling you fat, Rob. I'm calling myself. But
Jake,
dude, that is just so powerful. I mean, if you listen to the words, and it's like he hit everything. He hit everything. So,
Jake, can you come on Wednesday night? We don't want to. We're right here at the end of the show, and I want to bring you on. When you come on, I want you on. Can you come on Wednesday night?
Are you asking me or Jake?
Yeah, I asked Jake. I said Wednesday or Friday. I didn't remember our schedule, but Wednesday would be great. That would be awesome. And
he said yes. So
yeah,
you know, we're going to get him on here. We're going to learn his story too, because I'm going to tell you, the one he wrote for us was amazing. The one he wrote for you was amazing, and that's awesome. Someone that can do that.
I tell you what, there's a lot on my schedule this week, but I definitely am going to put that one down on mine because I got to hear this guy's story. Because, you know, does he have any songs out there that are being I'm not sure.
Heard? That's what we want to know. Want to learn about him. But we gave you all these songs, then he just comes and he blows us all away with this song,
he
man.
Shut us all up.
Wow.
He said, "You want a song? Here's you a song." Oh my goodness! Dave, did he get you like that too?
That is just downright incredible that somebody has. I sometimes think I have talent. People always say, Rob, you're talented in your wood shop and do this and everything. But to me, that is 100%, 150%. That's way beyond anything that I could. When he said he wanted to write a song, I was thinking, I'll hear it in maybe a week or two. But for him to generate that song within an hour of us talking, the music and the lyrics, oh my gosh!
What better thing? I mean,
it's just
all of my music is on the Buy Me a Coffee thing that Robert just played for you. That has helped all of my songs on it, all my audios on it. Okay. The reason I do music is because of my autism. It helps me calm down before my autism attacks. Thank you so much. I'll be here Wednesday, I promise you. And look, Jake, I know a lot of people with autism have trouble being on. It's just doesn't be us talking, okay? Don't even think about the cameras. It's just us talking on here. And we love all of you guys. And look, we will support you any way we can, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jake, just to let you know, my youngest adopted son, the Anakin, the one that I don't know if he was here when Anakin was on earlier, but Anakin is diagnosed as a high functioning autistic child. And, I always thought that he had as far as my Anakin, he taught himself how to read at 2 years old. And I always thought, man, wow, what an incredible thing. But then to see this young man, and I don't know how old you are, Jake, but what you have the ability, what you just generated is just way beyond anything. I'm speechless. I'm sorry. I could play that song every day, waking up in the morning, play that song and listen to it. That'll be my motivation. One
of those links was the bottom of your lyrics was a link to the donation page for Robert Diamond. Okay.
That's awesome.
So,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you,
and
Jake.
Jake, I did see you promoting us on X with video. And again, man, we're going to bring you on. Thank you so much. We're going to try to tell your story too and get support coming your way too, because you well deserve it, man. You're amazing. Wow. What a program. That's what I love about podcasting, man. You just never know, man. You just never know.
I'll tell you.
I'm like, I don't know what to even say to this guy. It's like, I tell people that, I'm a big guy and I'm intimidating and everything, but I used to own a t-shirt shop, and I always wanted to create this t-shirt that had a picture of a grizzly bear where the grizzly bear is ripping open his chest, and inside there's this little teddy bear. And I always described myself that I'm a teddy bear in a grizzly bear costume. And man, he has just brought that teddy bear of me out in me, because man,
it's people like Jake, it's people like him that, and being able to meet him, and we have said, Dave and I both say, we've got some of the most awesome fans out there. And this just once again goes to prove it.
There's no doubt.
Absolutely awesome.
Well, I think I'm gonna share the fact that that you guys have now interviewed me 3 times for my hike, getting me ready for this hike, and you've invited me to come back while I'm on my hike. And then you have a young man that just shows up on the screen and says, "Hey, can I write you?"
That's all him.
I'm like, I really, I'm like, okay, that'd be cool, but to hear it sang the same night that we're freaking talking, I just, this dude should be making mint. He should be making mint for people, and, kudos to him. And, I can't thank you two enough for having me on your show and talking to me about this, getting me ready and promoting the fact that, I just, those dog tags, he just said it all in his song. If you listen to it, he just said it all.
I thought all night long, I'm really appreciative of you giving us your time, because there's 1,000 things you've been working on and trying to get ready, and time's running out. And I don't know, what kind of hardship that was for you to come in and do this, and we really appreciate it. But I think at the end of it, if nothing else, you got one heck of a send off with that, and it was worth every minute of this program tonight to you for that. I feel it. I can't imagine what you're feeling, man, but I know what I feel.
Dude. It's just, I read about other thru hikers that that they had family and friends throw a send off party, and I had a meeting Saturday at the Legion with the officers. We do a monthly executive meeting, and of course they all, hey Rob, good luck. Our chaplain said a nice little prayer. It made me cry, but I'm telling you, man, that song just, if the dude was here, he'd be getting one big bear hug from me, I don't know where you live, Jake, but if you live anywhere close to the A2, man, I would love to see you on the trail one day. And, because, I just can't say thank you enough, because, man, that just, it's just,
Absolutely.
But thank you again, Dave. And like I said, to come on here, when it was George who introduced me to you guys and said, hey, you need to reach out to these guys. They do a podcast and it's kind of down to earth people. And so, that's when I reached out to you, Rob. And I was surprised that, let's see.
Oh, we have fun, dude. I mean, that's just it. We try to keep everything nice and easy.
Well, like I said, if you have any great songs about autism, I'd love to know the names of those, because I'd love to, the one thing that I was doing before the show here is Anakin and I did a video this week, and he wanted to go hike with me, and he knows that I'm doing, I'm vlogging my thing, and he wanted to do a videotape. So we went out and did a couple shoots out on one of the trails that I hike here locally. We came back and he wanted to help me. I've always said that he's a lot smarter with the electronics than I am. And it's funny that we were sitting there editing. I use a program on my phone to edit my videos. And he was showing me things. He's 8 years old. He was showing me things that I didn't even know about the program before I started doing it. And so then today, it was yesterday during Super Bowl, he kept bugging me, Dad, can we do another video? Dad, can we do another video? I said, Anakin, we'll do one this week for sure, And so we went earlier today, we went through and took all of the videos that I've shot with him hiking with me and things. And we were in the middle of doing the video. And I looked at my watch and I said, oh, shoot, it's 7:45. I go, Anakin, I've got to go get on this podcast. And he goes, but can we finish the video? And I go, we'll finish it when I'm done. I promise, So, oh, but man, this song I can't get the song out of my head. You talk about having a song in your head. This song is going to be stuck in all night long, all week long. I won't, every time I'll listen to it, I'll probably hear something that I didn't hear the first time.
Will you give me on the private? Do you have the private under the comments? Or if you don't care for it being private, I need your email address.
My email, Rob, R-O-B, Diamond, D-I-A-M-O-N-D, 81.
It's not going in there. All right, I got Rob Diamond.
811, that's my birthday, August 11th, at gmail.com. Okay. So I'll turn 63 while I'm on the trail this year. So.
Wow. Okay. That should be coming to you now.
That song, man.
There you go.
You are one heck of an individual, Jay.
And I think
I just can't say it enough.
Email, so.
Okay. All right. So you already did it.
Either way, he's got it. So
yeah.
We're
I wanted to make sure he had it. That's why I was. Thank you, Jake, very much. Dude, that was awesome of you. We really do appreciate it. And yeah, I've got his email. I didn't look at that. I just wanted to make sure that he had it. So, and I'm gonna have to.
I'm gonna see if I can go through and pull up all my videos and pictures. I did do a video with all my still pictures that I had from when I was younger. And then the first picture that I took of myself on the AT, and I put together a short little video with it the other day, just kind of to send to some of my family and friends. And I posted it on Facebook, but only part of it came up on Facebook. But, that song is the song I should be using, man, for anything that I do now. And I may take a portion of it and use it for my intro, and then use another portion of it for my exit video. But, I can't thank you enough. I can't thank you enough. And any way I could promote you, please let me know. So, because if anybody asks me, I want to be able to send them somewhere so that I can say, go listen to this guy's music,
Yeah.
So, or when you make it rich and famous, I can say, I knew that dude, and he wrote a song for me.
That's what we're going to be.
Yeah, exactly. You guys will be in the same category. So, I mean, that's just, when I came in that last Friday and heard the song, I was thinking, man, that's pretty incredible. So he did the same thing for you guys on Friday?
He did. Yes, he did.
Is he a real person? He's not an AI, is he? Because they say AI, these AIs can do a lot of strange things, but
no, he may be doing it.
I've seen a video of him. He's a real guy.
wow.
Yeah, he may be using AI to help him with the music part of it, but he's writing this stuff. He has to write it, and that's amazing to put something together to incorporate like that. That is absolutely amazing. That is
in such a short time is just. I just can't get over that. I just can't get over that. It would take me a lifetime to write a song about.
I don't either. That's amazing.
That sounds incredible. I don't care if he stood on his head and tapped his toes together while he did it.
No, me neither.
Incredible.
Cheers. Well, you know what? You guys have. I couldn't have asked for more from the time you've taken and the questions you've had, and I look forward to stopping in and chatting on the front porch.
Yeah, we're stoked about that. That is so
cool. Yeah.
And we appreciate you doing that.
No,
you got to have a flashlight there so we can see all the wood.
It was something that Mighty Blue on his podcast. He follows hikers on the trail, and he has them call in once a week, and he does a recording of it. And he had looked for names, and I was in the running that he was going to do it with me. But he chose two other people, a woman and a guy. And I wasn't heartbroken that he didn't pick me. But I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to doing it with you guys. I'm looking forward to doing it. And like I said, whoever's following me on the trail, they're going to follow me to that podcast those nights that I talk with you guys. And so it hopefully will bring a bigger following for you guys even yet.
Awesome. Jake,
you
got it. We'll send a sticker your way. Don't worry.
Well, like I said,
I'll make that happen.
Yeah, if you've got something, please. If you can get it to me before I leave on Saturday. Well, I leave Saturday morning, but there you go. He wants a sticker too.
Yeah, I'll make sure he gets one.
Well, I would love to have one, and I'll put it on my water bottle, and that way, whenever I drink out of my water, I'll think of you guys, and like I said, I look forward to. I don't know how often you'll want me to be on this thing and talk with you.
Once a week.
Huh? Once a week?
At least once a week.
Even if you don't have me on for the whole period, if I can just pop in and do a 5-10 minute section, that'd just checking in with you.
I know you're gonna be tired.
Yeah, well, I'm excited. Like I said, I was excited to get on the trail, earlier, but this is just put me over the moon, and I can't wait to get off and listen to it again. That's kind of where I'm at. So
we're gonna let you.
Anakin listen to it too.
Yeah, and Anakin's he's wanting to spend some time with you. We won't keep you any longer.
Yeah.
We thank you so much, and we'll be looking forward to hearing from you on the trail. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Like I said, drop me a message every once in a while, Rob, and say, hey, if you're not doing anything, we've got some time on this show, and if I'm in a town, or even if I'm hoping that I'll be out on the trail with a signal strong enough that I can actually be either sitting in my tent or sitting at a campfire around with some other hikers, and
that'd be awesome.
And we will. Share some southern love until we get north, and then we'll share some northern love. So
what I'll do is
we'll take the Southern Fried podcast all the way to Maine. So
there we go. I'll tell you what I'll do. Each night or each of our live shows, when we come in, I'll send a link. If you can make it, do it.
Oh, that would be great. That'd be great.
If you can't make it, that's fine. But we're on Monday, Wednesday, Friday at least. So I'll send you a link on each of those nights. And if you can come on. And if you're in a situation where you can, if it's not, then don't worry about it. We'll get you on the next one or the one after.
And like I said, if I can't make the show, I'll at least give you an update as to where I'm at on the trail and how I'm doing. And like I said, I would, just if
you got to have batteries. too.
If people are interested, if they follow my my vlog on YouTube, a lot of people will delay their postings of their vlogs, by a week or two because they don't want people. You talked earlier, Dave, about security on the trail.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want people to know exactly where they're at on the trail. My thought is that I'd like to have that trail love, that if somebody knows I'm coming into their town, they'll extend an invite out and say, "Hey, Rob, come by for some front porch chat or some cornbread or some Southern fried chicken," or, I will tell you that Southern fried chicken is one of my weaknesses. So,
yeah, mine too.
And I'll be looking to put on the protein and the calories for sure. So, but again, I can't thank you guys, both of you, and Jake especially, man. I've had some pretty incredible gifts from my kids in life where they've done just something that just seems so simple to somebody else, but to me it meant so much. I'm telling you, dude, that song is ranking up on the top right now. So, and you'll hear it again. So at least on my vlogging, you'll hear it again. And wow.
We were talking about songs to keep you going. If that don't keep you going, nothing will.
Dude, keep me going. That makes me want to get on the trail and get going.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have asked me, Rob, why do you tell everybody that you're going to do this? Don't you worry that if you have to quit, then you're going to be letting all these people down? And I tell them, I says, the more people I tell and talk about my journey, I just feel like it's going to be that extra support that I need on those days that are tough, that you want to quit. They always tell you never quit on a bad day on the trail. When it's raining and you're miserable, don't quit that day. Wait until the next day when you have nice weather and say, is it really when I want to quit? But, when I get to those points, all I'll have to do is listen to Jake's song. And, like I said, if I get up in the morning and play that music while I'm eating breakfast, I'm going to say, okay, this will get me through another day, So,
yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you too.
Can't thank you enough.
A lot of people don't.
Wow.
A lot of people know my story. This is from Jay. I'm 31, lost my mom when I was 16 to cancer, lost my dad at 26 to alcoholism. I took care of both my mom and my dad when they were in need. When they needed me, I just wanted to help people. My dad was a truck job for 55 years. My mom and dad had me when they were older. I loved them both. I wish they were here. I wish they could see me and what I'm doing. Absolutely. And you know what?
Jake, I don't know if you believe it, but I believe that they are here. They're watching what you're doing, young man. And
yes.
I think what you're doing, your songs speak from your heart, man. And it's, wow, it is just an incredible thing that what you're doing. I'm 62 and I have, and already bringing down the chat. What the?
No, you're not. You're not bringing down no chat, brother, man. Jake, you're not bringing nothing down.
So, but yeah, it's just way beyond what I could have ever expected tonight. And when you talked about wanting songs, it was like I was writing all these songs down because I think I wanted to do a playlist, but I don't know what the title of Jake's song is, but man, it's up there. And I think the more people that hear it, and they think about my journey, I think it's going to bring more attention to what's going on. And I love to share his backstory too, because, I have an 8-year-old son. I'm 62 years old. So, I've often wondered, am I going to be around long enough to see him grow up and do something as incredible what Jake is doing, and you've given me hope, dude. You really have. And like I said,
the name of the song is Carry Their Name.
Carry Their Names. Oh, okay. Excellent.
So, all right. Well, we're glad everybody jumped in here with us tonight. We thoroughly enjoyed this show. Rob, good luck.
Make sure you share it with Miss Elizabeth. She left before we got to hear the song.
Yeah, she was worn out. She done drove from North Georgia down to Atlanta, and she wasn't feeling all that great. She's got to be at work early in the morning. But now she's going to hear a song. So
thank her for coming by, and I'll add her songs to my list. And I'm just like, man, there's certain nights that I wake up and it's 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and I can't go back to sleep and I have to get up because I know there's a lot of things I could be doing, to get ready for my hike. And tonight is going to be a rough night to sleep because I'm just going to be sitting there thinking about this song that this young man wrote. This young man wrote, he wrote about my hike, and I haven't even done the hike, but man, he hit a grand slam, not a home run, but he hit a grand slam. So,
yes, he did.
And I thank you both for letting him be on your show and doing this.
Dude, I'm just glad he found us. And we've got the greatest fans out there.
So do you know where he lives? Has he said where he lives? I don't know if you're still here, Jake. Where do you live? So.
No, we'll find out.
Okay. And, all righty. Well, like I said,
it's one that Mr. Sherbert. It's one that he made for Robert Diamond. It's going to be back on. We're probably going to play this again. In fact, Jake's going to be on Wednesday night, and we're going to play the song that he made for us and the song that he made for Dog Tag here. So tune back in Wednesday night and check this thing out.
Yeah.
But we're about 20 minutes past time. I think we're going to call it tonight.
Well, I appreciate it again. Thank you, gentlemen, and thank you for your time. And I'll look forward to our next conversation, and it will be when I'm on the trail.
Absolutely, Bubba. All right. Good luck.
All right, you guys all be safe, and thank you. And
everybody else too. Be
you guys
safe.
are awesome. So
thank you, sir.
Take care.
We're honored to do it.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Night.
Good night. So, Dave, we can't do a much better show than that, I don't think.
No.
All right. So, everybody, we'll see y'all bright and squirrely Wednesday morning, and a big old salute.
Well, once again, it's time, my friends, for another meet and greet. We're Southern Fried and nationwide, so hang on to your seats. Look around, here's what I found. I guess you'll never know what you'll see on the Southern Fried Podcast.